but I just could not go to bed without doing a live video and talking about how amazing heaven works. I have been racking my brain trying to figure out how to find out the name of that cop that came over for the window when I had to call and that woman broke my window. Because once I realized that that was the same dude that tailgated me for, it was over a mile from the Hy-Vee parking lot all the way to the Casey's parking lot through a stoplight. You know, it was green when we went through it, but and he was an inch and a half to 2 inches off my bumper, and I thought it was Neil because all I saw was the beard, because the dude was like right on top of me. Hey, and I was racking my brain to figure out how I could find out this dude's name. And then Captain Underpants, Geo Farnsworth, does a video where he shows the letter that Neil sent him, my sheriff, Neil Gross. And now I know that the name of my new handler, which basically Neil admitted in the email to Geo, his name is Captain Chad Butler. Chad. It just... Captain Butler best bring more to the fucking table than the sense of entitlement that he has because he's been pretty all of his fucking life. He better bring more than his ego to the table. Because when I shook his hand and looked him in the eye, I saw the fucking dark in that dude. It wasn't hard to see at all, you know? And God used them to give me the answer that I wanted, you know? I wanted to know that cop's name, you know? I've sent him a couple of emails now, today, telling him that he's way in over his head, you know? It's funny because that other policeman who was involved with the car accident, the Brandon Gosh dude, I knew that he probably wasn't going to stick around, and he didn't. He left. Because that guy was bright. I sat and talked with him for 45 minutes to an hour outside the sheriff's office. Because I had to go get the report, and then he got out, and we just started talking. And he was a good guy. But this other dude, oh, God has my back. It was funny because I usually don't watch Geo's crap. I can't stand to even look at him. But for some reason I clicked on it and realized it was an email, and I couldn't believe what I was reading, you know? And I wanted to do a live video because today I did a couple shorts, but the very last short that I did it was all about Geo's email, because I just went right back to Neil. And they don't like me. And I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. But the last video that I did, the short, I don't think it's even a short. I think it's an actual video. I don't remember what it's called. But hey, it's important. You can see the sign that's in my front yard because I did TikTok so I could put screenshots behind it. They don't like my screenshots. The reason why they don't like my screenshots is because my screenshots is all their shit. I just take fucking screenshots of it. You know? It took me forever to take screenshots of that damn video of Geo's because I'm not paying to download it. But screenshots were enough. Neil now knows that I know, and Captain Butler and I have now been formally introduced because I have made myself fucking known. He better bring more to the fucking table than that goddamn ego. Because that's all I saw when he was here. You know? That's all I saw. And if he thinks that that shit is going to contain me, because I'm not kidding. I think that I don't find it a coincidence of timing that 200 kids were found right after Thomas Schoenberger is trying to convince everybody that he's no longer alive. It's not a coincidence. You know? Their shit's coming out. And they don't like it because right now God allows me to send the darkness at will. I'm expected to send it at will. And they always start off fucking laughing. They always start off laughing, but it never ends that way. I am still on that $8 bottle of wine that I bought like a week and a half ago. It's just if you don't drink it within like a 2 or 3 week period, it kind of turns to vinegar. It's cheap ass wine. But I was stressed. I'm happy, and I'm very grateful that God gave me the information that I couldn't figure out. For the life of me, I could not figure out how to get that cop's name. For the life of me, I could not think about how I could get that cop's name. And then, voila. I'm very pleased about it, but I'm sick of this. You know? I'm sick of this shit. And Neil is just, he can't crawl up all of their asses fast enough. You know? Can't crawl up all of their asses fast enough. But just like I showed the official report on that garage that sold gas. There were 2 explosions. I showed both the official report and I showed the news report. And so people can say whatever the fuck they want. It's a lie. There wasn't just one explosion. And Neil's a liar. He hid a bunch of stuff. You know? How convenient that he's saying that I shouldn't be able to talk about things because people have not gone to court and been charged with the shit yet. Well, that's because I can't get anyone to fucking investigate. But I think those days are over. I think it's getting investigated. Oh, it is. They say protect and serve. But the thing about it is that now I know who Mr. Butler is and I know his name. I was able to focus on him so much more detailed, you know? And all of this showing up, that was God. Who could have predicted that that's where I would find the cop's name from? You know? Who? Because it was just a bunch of stuff that shouldn't have happened. Because I never watch any of their shit, you know? Every once in a while, I pop in and look at what Tara Joyce writes, because she just writes. I'm not watching any of their shit. I don't want to listen to them talk. They're just, their voices annoy me. And so, but I'll read what they write, you know? And so, because they're fucking full of lies. And you can, the resonance of their tone is fake. It's false. You can hear it. And when you can hear it, that's all you can hear. And I don't, no. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. And I know it's being investigated. And I wouldn't have known for certain, but Thomas Schoenberger has gone out of his way to try and convince me that he is dead. And now all those 200 kids just got found. which means they're starting to look into shit. You know, they're starting to look into shit. Oh, her Tara Joyce, her voice has that shrill thing, and that's why I thought she was mentally ill, because she like wants to be a prepubescent girl. She dresses weird. She talks in that almost childish talk. You know, today is today. Someone is obviously coaching her because she had these big long words of I'm associating stuff with other stuff, and it was this whole theory. And she had a blog. It was someone's blog about it, and so I took screenshots and sent it to my fucking investigators, and just, you know, it was fucking. I thought it was stupid, but it was funny. It was funny. She's learned some big words, you know. But it's their whole agenda, because that she does that, and Pootie Twang in several accounts says the same fucking thing. I don't even have to, because they have screenshots of stuff that they have on there, and I can read what that says, and it's all the same thing, you know. I've equated things that shouldn't be equated, you know. Nothing. I'm formulating situations that don't have anything to do with anything and aren't the truth, and I'm crazy, and oh my god, whatever. It's just time for someone to fucking come along and call you motherfuckers out. That's just what it is. And I know who you are. I've had to deal with all of you. And now it's going to get a lot more fun, because now I know Mr. Chad Butler's name. Captain Chad Butler. And he wants to be my new handler. He wants to be, and he was aggressive about it. Because the first time I ever had to deal with him, he was fucking 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from my bumper, with the look on his face. Is the whole, like I've said, the whole reason I turned into Casey's is because I was afraid if I went down a residential area, the man would come out and shoot me. That's the look that was on this dude's face. And we had never met. I thought it was Neil, but it wasn't. It was this Chad Butler. And we had never met face to face. And that's how he started things off. So fine. You know, this will be a lot of fun. Because starting that off, that's how I get to start off. And I get to send the dark. And there ain't a fucking thing that they can do, because as far as I know, there's no laws on the books about sending the dark to people. Casting. You know? Doesn't have anything to do with spells and witchcraft and all of that. But the darkness, God wants the fucking evildoers to have all the darkness they could ever want. That's all I'm doing, is blessing them. And that Chad Butler, I'm going to make an example out of him. I've already done it, you know? I've already done it. The energy, the darkness has already enveloped him. It already had. It already had, because I was able to go back, because I was able to shake him, touch him, and look him straight in the eye. Like I said. And I did that instinctively. I wasn't even thinking about it. I did it because I felt so degraded that it was the only way that I could get a sense of, you know, I was being polite and mannerism and let's shake hands, because I'm not a big shaking hands person anyway. I don't really like to touch people. But it was different that time. And so I knew the darkness in him. I just didn't know his name. And now that I know his name, he's on my email list. Of course he's on my email list. He's my handler. He has to know everything. You know? He has to know everything. If he's going to handle me, then handle me. You know? That's how it works. Handle me. See how well you like it. Because my handlers haven't really liked being my handlers in the end. In the end, they end up not liking it at all. You know? I have a tendency to scare my handlers. And Ryan Miller, that dude got me at a time that I was not who I am today. We are in different times. But unfortunately for you, all of the shit that I have, that I've sent Ryan Miller, fat little thing that he is now, that you get that compounded. This Chad Butler, because in my mind, the very first time I ever knew you existed was when you were fucking 1.5 inches, 2 inches off my bumper. And that was meant to fucking scare me. And you succeeded. You made me nervous because I didn't know what the fuck you were going to do. And I thought you were Neil for the longest time with that dark beard. I thought that you were Neil because I didn't get a good look. Because having a fucking sheriff right on your ass is nerve-wracking when you're trying to drive. It's nerve-wracking for anyone to do it. But with the sheriff in a great big truck, you know? That's how we met. You established the boundaries and the parameters of our relationship before I even fucking knew who you were. And so the darkness gets to respond accordingly. And so, like I sent in my email to you tonight, you better bring more to the table than this self-entitled, self-satisfied sense of ego, because your little pretty looks ain't gonna fucking help you. You know? I wasn't impressed. So you get to deal with what I know how to deal with. And dude, you have always been a fucking bully. It was inside you. That's the darkness that I saw inside of you. You are dark. And so I'm going to make an example out of you so Neil can see. Because you want to be my handler, so fucking handle me. You know? But I don't even have to leave the confines of my own house. Didn't have to do it, and it's already done. And you'll be like all the other dumbasses. You will dance around like a fucking monkey in heat and make fun of me and blah, 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 blah. But it won't last. I assure you it won't last. And when it takes over, you ain't gonna like it. I told you in the last email that I told you, because I only sent you 2 emails tonight, but in the last one, when I told you you are in way over your head, I'm not kidding. But I also have to say that in my life, everything is providence right now. There is nothing in my life that isn't God. There's nothing in my life that isn't heaven right now. The people involved, the exchanges I have, the things that come to me, it's all heaven. And you ain't gonna like what happens, you know? You better bring more than your little pretty looks. And Neil ain't gonna be able to save you. Your boss ain't gonna be able to save you. Your boss just fucked you today, you know? Let me point that out. I would have never known. I could not figure out who the fuck you were. And I didn't know who I was going to be able to ask to find out who you were. You know? But now I know. And so I just want this, a short live video, so I can send it to Mr. Captain Chad Butler of the Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff's Department. You know? You guys want to fucking handle me? Okay. Okay. But you, Neil Gross, Mr. Sheriff, better watch that fucking video. Because I know the drug shit is being investigated. I know it's being investigated. Too many people knew about it. It's just no one knew what to do. I wasn't one of those people. Again, it's providence. Heaven brought me here. It definitely brought me to Erling, but it also brought me here. And so everything in my life is providence. And you ain't gonna like the shit that I've sent your way. And it'll be fun to watch you, Mr. Chad Butler. It'll be fun to watch that smug ass, self-satisfied look that you had on your face. Wipe it all away. You know? Wipe it all away. You can't beat me on my playing field because you don't even know how the fucking the game works. You couldn't beat it even if you could. You can't beat heaven. You want to fucking protect goddamn child killers? What the fuck happens to you happens to you. And I don't give a shit. That's how I feel. So, with that said, I'm going to end tonight because this is a crappy one, but it was done for a certain reason because it was just easier to do it this way than any other way. But, thank you, Gio. Thank you. Made my life so much easier. I can't say thank you enough.